Hey, what up, gang? Thanks for joining us today. We're going to jump into previewing Georgia, Bob. Third game of the year this year. Uh, Catching them pretty early in the season. Home game should help out a lot.
Yeah.
Before we get into that, I want to thank you guys for joining us again.
hmm
Remember to hit that subscribe button. Share it with a friend. We'd really, really appreciate that. Um, had a few questions about the sign behind us. We just got it in on the last episode. Uh, We're hoping it looks good. Let us know what you think about it. And by the way, the lock system right now, we can actually change colors on it. We can get it to run, uh, chase, a lot of different things you can do with it.
Yeah.
If y'all want something like it or another design, we're going to leave the guys' information in the description. Give him a holler and see if he'll hook you up something that you'll be able to put in your man cave.
Yeah. Local to the Knoxville area. So if you're anywhere around the Knoxville area, holler at him. And I think he also ships these things too. And there's different sizes too. So there's a
Yeah,
lot, and he does some other stuff too. So holler at him. He's got some great stuff.
yeah. Now, we didn't get this from him, but we are giving this away right now.
hmm
Um, where you need to be a subscriber. Bob, what else do we got to do? We got to comment,
Gotta leave a comment, hit the notification bell.
hit the notification bell. Yes. And then after on the sixth episode from when we started, which is I think the three more after this one, I think maybe I'm gonna have to look. But anyway, on that episode we will pull out the names of everybody that meets those criteria,
Yep.
and we'll get a hold of you, get with you, and we'll ship it to you. You can put that in your man cave. Say you gave your all for Tennessee football.
Right.
All right, Bob. That
Get
all
into it.
said, let's get into Georgia.
Right.
Okay, Bob. Georgia, um, I think they've slipped a little bit, but when you've been at a near perfect level there in the early 2020s, uh, how far have they slipped?
I mean, there's still top five team in the country, and probably will be for next little bit. I mean, it's hard to envision a team that you go into a Georgia game thinking you're the favorites. I mean, they're loaded with talent. When you start looking at their depth chart, one thing that's consistent is 5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars. I think the only real difference between championship level Georgia and Georgia that's well, I can't say it's not championship level, but
So they can win it this year.
yeah, from dominant Georgia that's uh, won back-to-back national championships to the one that you have now. I think it's one major thing is those championship level teams had you know fantastic defensive lines and the interior, and it was almost impossible to run on them, even with
A light box.
light
It,
box.
it didn't matter. They could still control you, and they did.
I think that was the biggest thing. You could not run on them even with a light box, and that was just such an advantage was able to have on you, and that was just so frustrating against a great offense we had 22. They could not rush.
Yeah, they dropped extra people back,
Yeah,
and between holding our wide receivers
that
and
they did.
having an extra man back there,
Yes,
um,
it helped.
we still couldn't run on them.
Yeah. But let's start off with their offense, Tim. What do we expect? Because I know that you're fans, just like I am. You're wanting to know what's their weakness. Do they have weaknesses? What's their strengths? Um, you know, what's Tennessee going to be looking for with Georgia? You know what I mean?
Well, Bob, it starts all everywhere else. It starts with the quarterback, and I got to say, I give Gunnar Stockton credit for one thing, and that's the best naming for a quarterback you're ever going to find.
Yeah,
Gunnar.
Gunner. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean that's an awesome name. Apparently, he got it named after his great grandfather, who was a gunner in on a plane in World War II.
yeah,
For any veterans out there, um, but he's a five-star talent coming out of high school.
hmm
Of course, he was behind Vandergriff, and we saw what Vandergriff looks like at Kentucky.
Right.
That said, he was also a true freshman at that time, I believe.
Yeah.
So we got to give him a little thing. But honestly, I will say this: they felt good enough about Gunnar Stockton. They did not go to the portal to add anybody.
I think that's what you need to look at. I mean, I think a lot of Tennessee fans are like, "Oh, I watched him play in something last year, and he did not impress me, and he didn't impress me either." But you also, I think you got to think Georgia didn't go get somebody, and they could have. This is Georgia. They could have went out and got somebody uh, who could have thrown the ball a bit better around, and to something else too. I'm not trying to, you know, sound like a Kentucky fan. I mean Georgia fan here, but
Um,
Alabama,
Bob, I have to scoot over if you do.
right? Bama and Georgia has won
Many championships.
many championships with game managers at quarterback.
Yeah.
Uh, they just play elite defense, run the ball well, and you know just throw the ball when they have to because they usually can't.
Not a bad recipe, Bob. And I'm not even going to sit here yet to say Gunner can't be more than a game manager, too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that he'll be better this year because a lot of what he got thrown into was without a lot of, game prep. He wasn't the man all year, so he will get. I'm sure he's going to get a lot more practice. I expect a better Gunner Stockton than what we saw in the limited time he did play last year, which was basically mop-up duty and one big game.
And, Bob, one other thing, I think he's going to have better pieces around him this year. They were disappointing last year in their offensive production altogether.
Yeah, when you look, we dug it deep into this one and talked to, watched a lot of podcasts, read a lot of stuff, and basically what we learned was Georgia feels good about the receiving core. Probably the most improved position on their team this coming year.
It ought to be, Bob. I mean, historically, um, the receiving core has been meh,
Right.
pretty much. I mean, but they went out and got a couple of people whose names we all remember because we tried to get them.
Yeah.
Branch out of from the Trojans of
Yeah.
Southern Cal.
Zacharias Branch.
And looked very well in spring, I understand.
Yeah, they was not
Yes, sir.
disappointed with him. And then he's not a meh type guy. I mean, he's a electric kind of guy. Um, I'm not, there's a guy that they had a few years ago, kick returner, who he reminds me of, electric kind of guy. I may think of his name here in a minute, but a really good guy, kind of a smaller dude, but that's different from the other guys they got on their probably starting lineup. They're 6'5", 6'3". They also got Noah Thomas, uh, Texas A&M guy who we went after too, who was their leading receiver last year. So to say Georgia should expect a huge improvement in their wide receiver position. Uh,
Yeah, if I'm a Georgia fan, uh, excuse me,
right.
I'd be excited about the prospects of wide receiver for a change.
Yeah. And, Georgia will be fantastic at tight end. Fortunately, that's not going to end anytime soon. When you start looking
Yeah.
at their recruiting, I swear it seems like they get, we recruit against them for a tight end or two here in the last few years. And I'm like, why would they go there? Because Georgia just got signed 2 years before that, two in the top five. Last year, two of the top five tight ends in the country. So I mean, they're absolutely loaded. They got Oscar Depp back. They're really excited about a guy named Jaden Riddell, young feller who might be the next Brock Bowers kind of guy. Uh, so Georgia's going to be fantastic at tight end. Whoever they throw out there. Uh, Offensive line, they lost four starters. The fifth guy went from one tackle spot to the other tackle spot. So
Yeah, one started half the year at left tackle, got hurt, guy took over for him. They're both back,
right,
and the first guy, uh, whose name right now is escaping me totally, he switched over to right tackle.
a projected depth chart from what we can tell is Monroe Freeling at left tackle and Ernest Green at right tackle. I think it's Green who flipped
Yeah, I believe that's correct.
But they're happy with their offensive line. Michael Morris, probably left guard. Drew Boo Boo, Bobo. And
That's a boo-boo.
that's a Boo Boo. And Daniel Calhoun, I think it's former 5-star, if I
Yeah.
remember correctly on that one, which I'm sure half those guys are. But Georgia's offense, they're expected to be uh, better, and it should be better. I mean, honestly,
That offensive line disappointed last year.
yeah. And so did the quarterback, man, who, by the way, absolutely lit us up. Played like crap all year long. His best game of the year was against Tennessee.
Shocker.
I mean, yeah. I mean, come on,
Shocker.
man. The guy went the second quarter on. He just like, oh, I'm gonna play like the best player I could ever have played. You know,
Spencer Rattler
yeah.
type of
Come
deal
on,
there.
man.
Yes.
But anyway, offensively, I expect a better team. When you start listening to their podcast, a constant theme is disappointing at certain positions last year.
The offensive line key among them.
Yeah, lost a lot, but they feel pretty good about the guys coming back. They surely can beat out the ones that some of the ones they lost because some of the ones they lost was very disappointing.
Yeah. The one thing about last year's Georgia team that really would shock, I think, most people is that they finished 15th in the conference in rushing.
That shocked me. That is, I mean, I cannot tell you because I mean Georgia's, they're known for tight ends now more so than anything. But through my years of watching Georgia football, they always have an elite running back. I mean, no matter you can always count on they're going to grab one of the top 5 running backs in the country every single year. I mean,
Well, most of them you get the top running back out of the state of Georgia. You have one of the top 5 running backs in the
yeah,
country every year.
you do.
They produce running backs like no other. This year, Frazier is going to be the starter, I believe, back there, Bob.
Yeah, it will be.
And we'll have some depth behind them. Like a couple years ago, they got that Robinson kid who looked like a professional bodybuilder.
Right.
Still on the team, he's number 1 running back in the country.
Roderick Robinson. Yeah. Yeah, he's gigantic.
Gigantic, but coming off an injury, and really has been disappointing his own self to this stage.
Yeah. If I was going to say something about Nate Frazier that I learned, he had some fumble issues last year. So now I'm sure they will be working on him with that. But and Georgia's wide receivers had a lot of drop passes. So hopefully it's something that was contagious in the water.
Yeah, I hope they haven't changed out the water jug.
Yeah. But yeah, if you want to try to look for a bright spot, Nate Frazier, their projected starting running back, did have a little bit of a fumble issue, and we play him so early in the year that they will not have gotten rid of him for that reason.
Yeah, if we were to begin
the season.
again.
Yeah. Well, Tim, let's jump to the defensive side of things for Georgia.
That's where they've been elite for a long, long time now.
Yeah, they have been.
Yeah. Starts up front.
It starts up front. The guy that they're hoping to be that next Jordan Davis, elite kind of guy who can disrupt and just stop games is Christian Miller. Now he's not the nose guard though. That's probably Jordan Hall.
Maybe Xavier McLeod either.
Yeah, could be Xavier McLeod too. They seem like they lost some players off that defense, and of course they filled them with 5-stars. But they was a little bit disappointed a little bit with their defensive line last year. But one thing I do think when listening to these guys, they feel good about their overall depth at the position. So a lot of rotation. We know about that from last year Tennessee team.
Yeah, the nose tackle spot is going to have be about 4 deep.
Yeah.
But there's a drop off though. They're not. I mean, there's a drop off from the tip top.
Yeah.
This is not the Jordan Davis years where one year you had the top defensive tackle in the country being drafted
Right.
first in the NFL, and the next year you had the top defensive tackle in the country being drafted by the NFL. Um,
Right.
but they was not happy with their depth last year. Their depth is better this year. Um, one thing to say too, Bob, you look at they realized this last year in recruiting. They went and got out and they got the number one defensive tackle, everybody's number one defensive tackle,
Elijah Griffin.
Elijah Griffin. And then, they went out and got almost everybody's number one defensive end.
Yeah.
And, took good measure. They went out and got about everybody's number one linebacker. Now, all will be true freshmen.
Yeah.
But as we know, when we talk about David Sanders, sometimes you're hoping that a true freshman is going to make a difference. And they're going to be happy for the future.
Oh yeah.
But
Absolutely.
2025, maybe by the third game of the year, they won't be, those young studs won't be ready to help, we hope.
Speaking of Tennessee, when you start looking at the linebackers, that's where you start seeing some guys that we've recruited. We went after C.J. Allen, almost got him. He's their best linebacker. Uh, Raylan Wilson might be the other starter, but a young guy who, um, if you're a recruiting junkie, knows we came super close getting Chris Cole. He's a
Super
guy they're super excited about. We really fought hard for him. We're in it, but you know what's good though is if you're a Tennessee fan, we're going against Georgia for some guys. We've got some
On the
guys
defensive
on.
side of the ball.
Yeah, we're recruiting against them. You can see a lot of names on their depth chart that we went after and we almost got. But you can also see some guys on our roster that Georgia could do the same thing. So that's starting to be something that's you're starting to recruit a lot better when there's a lot of guys on your roster that Georgia really wanted.
Yeah, we look around a lot of the top defensive rosters now and see guys we were bridesmaids on,
Right.
but we're recruiting with them, and we are winning more and more battles all the time.
Right.
Bob, jumping back to the defensive line for a second, let's look at their defensive ends and their Leos, which they call jacks. Um, they've gotten uh, Gabe Hall.
Right.
That's not his name, is it?
Like no.
It's Gabe Harris.
Gabe Harris is
Yeah.
the defensive end, and you got Elo Meduzzi, transferred from Army. We watched a little film study on him, and they're high on him. Fits what they do really well.
Run a lot of the same schemes that Georgia does,
Yeah.
so he won't have a difficult time learning that part. Just will he be able to play at this level?
Right.
They're very high on him.
Yeah, they are. They seem to be high on him. They think he does exactly what they want from a guy who plays that position. Uh, but they're loaded on that as far as that goes.
Yeah, you can Travis Johnson, Isaiah Gibson, like we mentioned a minute ago.
Right.
Good young German kid up there, J.J. Hanna,
Yeah.
that they're pretty high on too. The bigger guy could probably play a little inside, a little strong side defensive end. Uh, got good pass rush ability though.
Yeah. When you move on down their team, um, they seem to be really high on their corners. When you hear them talking about, uh, they sounded a lot like Tennessee. Really, they felt like their corners was going to be elite, probably led by Dalen Everett. I remember that name being talked about a lot. Daniel Harris.
Yeah, Everett's probably one of the top cornerbacks in the league.
Yeah, he's probably a projected first round guy. And another big time guy is KJ Bolden. Now they did lose a player or two there, but the Jackson kid that was their version of Will Brooks. They lost him, a guy who was stuck around their program forever. Uh, and the guy who went in first round, I cannot think of his name right at the moment. You know what I'm talking about?
No, Bob, I barely remember my name. So
Right, but yeah, some of y'all know who I'm talking about. But he was their other safety, big time guy.
oh, Malachi Starks.
Yeah, Starks. Yeah,
I thought you was talking about a corner.
No, Starks. Uh, but you know, and that was really the only one they really like a huge miss there. Their place kicker back, he was elite. Not a weakness, unfortunately, there.
Yeah, I think he's missed like 6 field goals in the last 2 years, 42 and
Yeah.
48, I believe.
Their punter is back as well. He's elite, but you was telling me that he tore his ACL, what, in the SEC championship game?
Yeah, he did. The guy that came in for him, I think he finished the year off after the 4 punts for about a 40-yard average. That may or may not be indicative of what he can really do on such a small scale.
Right.
But I would assume that the punter will be healthy to punt this year. He averaged about 48 yards a pop. A lot of leg right there, Bob.
Right.
But, how does that ACL affect him mentally? And, does it go from 48 to 45? Because uh, three don't sound like much, but that's a big difference in a punter.
Oh yeah, being All American to men toward the bottom of the league. Uh, so basically, Tim, I mean, really, when we get right down to it,
We can say this Georgia team sucks.
right? I mean, Georgia in general,
Yes.
uh, yeah, they suck. You know, I'm gonna hate them for a while until I die, and and so you know,
No, I tell you what, this team is once again, Bob. You put the roster up against anybody in the country, they're not taking a back seat to anybody.
well, I knew that going into this preview, Tim. I was like, well, you know,
Yeah, but you said a spot that Tennessee can take advantage of.
man, you hope Gunnar Stockton's not a guy who, when the game's on the line, makes the play. That I guess is where I'm at from a Tennessee fan point of view. I want to say I'm not so sure he's that guy who it's 3rd and 8, you know, and uh, they need to throw the ball because he had some moments last year where he missed open guys. I mean, we know about quarterbacks that miss open guys, how that can kill your team.
Well, it can. And the question for me is, uh, yes, he has played a big game already under his belt.
Hmm.
Was a loss, but still,
All right.
he did play it. And but this will be his first true road game, and when he comes up to Tennessee.
I mean, that's a good point. I mean,
And
that's a good point.
I mean, he ain't gonna be able to hear himself think. So,
You
as
hope
a
he
young
comes in a little
kid, will
bit.
he have the yips a little bit?
Yeah. Yeah, that's very possible. And I kind of thought he looked a little rattled last year when he did come in.
And I can see why. I
Yeah.
mean, that's a
So,
big situation to come into.
uh, but hopefully he's not as strong as his name is. Uh,
But can we get to the next question?
well, I mean, their offensive line, Tim, you know, they talk highly of their offensive line, but one stat you said, Tim, the fact that they finished so bad rushing the football last year. Uh, they've got to do better than that. I mean, if we could tee off, I really feel like Kirby Smart's had a little bit of our number. Uh, he schemed his defense fits against our offense
I think the
too
most
good.
thing is, Bob, our offense has struggled a little bit the last 2 years. But the first 2 years when it was really rolling,
Yeah,
man, we was playing against an NFL team out there.
right. With
And
yes,
there's still a lot of NFL players on that side of the ball, but it's not that Georgia defense from 21, 22. I mean,
right.
they
Well,
couldn't stop anybody.
honestly, Tim, I think the biggest thing, if you're looking for a bright spot for this team to go against Georgia, me and you said we felt like for a good time here that yes, we had a system, but to beat Georgia, you're going to have to improve your line play in particular, especially our offensive line. We could scheme stuff up, but we had to be closer to their defensive line, talent wise, mano mano. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
And that was a key difference. We had to start getting the All American type guys to go against their All American type guys. We don't necessarily have to meet them, you know, 100%, 100%.
no, you do
Got to be
know.
pretty, but there can't be 100 to 70. You know, it needs to be 100 to 90. And I think we're there a little bit right now. I mean, Lance Hurd can be that guy who's a former 5-star. David Sanders, even though he's young, 5-star. Wendell Moy, I think, is going to be a guy who gets drafted early in next year's draft. Uh, as far as guards is concerned, and they're never like
Yeah, they're never high draft.
highest draft picks, but
Be one of the first guards off the board.
right. Uh, I could see this being the year where we have that little edge there that we are not getting dominated up front. That they're going to have to add another person in the box to stop the run. And you know, Georgia, if they had a weakness last year, they did give up some long passes. You know, I know they're thinking their corners are going to be really good, uh, but they was acceptable to that, and I think we'll be better at that this year. So, yeah, there is a shot. Game's here. Game's gonna be loud. Gunner Stockton's first game in a true road environment. Um, you know, and in a road environment like this, which we all know, Tennessee fans, make it loud when it comes to this game. Make it loud.
Yeah, if you go to the boys come
After the game,
Sunday morning,
yeah,
you did job.
didn't do your job. Anything else about this game, Tim, that you want to mention?
No, other than just the fact that it's we'll get an early litmus test of the type of team we have. Right? We played Georgia. I mean, that's I think we could pull off an upset in Neyland. Uh, Obviously, they still have a talent advantage on us.
Oh yeah, they've got talent advantage on pretty much everybody
Everybody.
except for Texas, maybe.
Yeah, there's
Maybe, yeah, that's about it, honestly. And Texas may not have the talent advantage over them now, but well, a few things, guys. One, we will be doing another preview similar to this, but a little different, totally different, really, in a lot of ways. Right before the game,
right.
you know.
And we skipped ETSU.
Yeah,
We'll get that week.
Yeah,
We'll skip UAB here in the preseason, but we'll get both of those the week of.
we'll let you know a lot more. So, hey, what changed? Are they really happy after fall camp with some of these guys? Are there's some concern? Do we have an edge maybe that we didn't know about, or a weakness that we didn't know about at this point? And remember, hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell to win this.
And leave a comment.
Yeah,
You got to leave a comment.
leave a comment. Got to leave a comment. And to win this awesome sign, and
So you can hang it on the wall above your door, or you can. There's a laying around here somewhere, a little stand.
Yeah.
To put it on, you can put it on your desk. With that said, Bob, I think we just got to say go Big Orange. College football season's almost here.
it's almost here. The spring practice, the fall practice is almost here, and that's always an exciting time too, man. Well, Tim, I've come to that moment of the video where we say, I say go Vols.
And I say go Big Orange.
That's right.